Snapbacks and top hats. Snapbacks and top hats. Snapbacks and top hats. Okay, so as I said in my last video, if you watched it.
Our last video.
I'm sorry, I'm used to making my own videos. You know, I've started this new channel. But anyways, I'm going to start reading from my book that I had mentioned. Okay.
Read from the beginning.
From the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not that good at the beginning, though.
I
hope you buy it. It's called Paradise. Okay, here we go. Okay, Tara, truth or dare? Dare. Okay, I dare you to run down the hall yelling, "Unicorn poo in my hands!
Unicorn poo in my hands!" Shh!
As loud as you can. Deal. Tara left the room. Me, Tara, Jade, Charity, and Amani were spending the night at my house. Tara comes back laughing. She said, "I was running down the hall yelling, and your mom asked if I took special vitamins." Huh. The house started to rumble. My friends were calm. Was I the only one who felt it? Guys, I'm getting bored, Jade blurted. Well, what do you want to do? Asked Charity. How about tomorrow we go on a vacay with our BFs? Yes, I shouted, so it was planned. Tomorrow, us and the boys are going to Orlando. All the girls were asleep by now but me. I was up thinking about what we might could do. I thought, on the way over there, we could stop at the world's largest McDonald's and play in the arcade for a while. Then, we could go to SeaWorld. Perfect. Our trip was planned. All we need is gas and moolah. Great. Where are we going to find that? By now, I had the plan. But I needed the girls. Y'all, get up. Why? Monty asked, rubbing her eyes. We're going to rob a bank. What? They all screamed. I really had no explanation better than, if you want to go to Orlando tomorrow, you got to get something. Tara, call the boys. We need all 5 of them, I say. I threw the phone at her, and she was a little jittery, saying we were about to rob a bank. We all got dressed in black, and we were kind of spooked. We weren't the bad kids in school, and we never stole anything in our lives. The boys pulled up in the Hummer, and we all hopped in. Our boyfriends were the bad boys. I like that. But they were loyal. They were Drew and I, Ethan and Tara, Jade and Austin, Greg and Charity, and Jacob and Amani. We all had boyfriends. It was sort of funny to me because me and my girls were a posse, and our boyfriends were a posse. Just sort of happened. The boys were happy about this. Anything to get in trouble. Mine was the baddest of them all. He was, is, and had all the tools you'd ever need. The rest of the boys were like his. Back up. I'm not trying to brag, though. The Hummer pulled off and up to the nearest bank. Monty said, "I can't do this." Jacob replied, "Good, we need to look out." His voice so smooth it gave you chills. He hadn't had a voice change. So imagine at kindergarten, he got all the little crackers he wanted because everyone gave him theirs because he melted them with his voice. That's how amazing his voice is. The boys went in and we followed. This bank security is so stupid. I see why the boys picked it. No security, cameras, nothing. We got to the door, locked. But it was like they wanted to get robbed. There was a nail with a key on it. Really?
No.
The boys just left. Drew put the key in and opened the door. Inside, the safe was in the back of the bank by the, conference room? You know when people say they look like a giant wheel with a big old lock like a ship wheel? They're wrong. This was the door with a keypad on the handle. It had a hint button and Jacob pressed it. The hint was my cat's name. Really? Greg stepped up and tried Snowball. No. Bootsy. No. Finally, he tried Willie. Bingo! The safe squeaked open and we stole rubber bands, if you know what I mean. We ran to the car, both hands full, all 9 of us. When we got out to the car, Monty wasn't there. We put the money in and went searching for her. Finally, we found her walking down the road. We stopped and helped her calm down as she got back in. We went to the boys' hideout and counted the money. Each band had $1,000 in it. We had 40 bands of money, so we had $40,000 to spend. Now it's 3 a.m. and we just stayed at the boys for the rest of the night. We played Truth or Dare again. It was 7 a.m. and I was the only one up, but soon I was surprised with a kiss on my cheek. It wasn't Drew, though. It was Ethan. He thought I was Tara. I didn't tell anyone. I don't want to start World War III. Everyone is awake and we get going. First, we stop for gas. We get $90 in and it fills it up. We get going, and by the time we're there, it's 10:30 a.m. and McDonald's is still serving breakfast. Fine by us. We step in and our mouth drops open. 2 stories high of arcade games. It had an elevator. We went to get our breakfast when the worker looks at Drew and winks. He does nothing but put his arm around me, letting her know he's mine. The girl about our age glared at me. Honey, better get straight. Her name was Erin. She looked terrible. We got our food, ate, and went to the games. There was a photo booth. Me and Drew were there. We then went to the skee ball. I acted like I didn't know what I was doing so Drew could help me by putting his arm around me. Again, I don't know where the others went, but I didn't care. Next thing I know, Tara runs up to me and says, Dreama, we have to go now. We hurry to find everyone else and leave. When we get to the car, Jade, Greg, Austin, and Amani are laughing. Guys, what happened? I asked. We stole from the prize room, Amani says. I could tell we all have changed. We're stealing, lying. What else will we do? When we get to SeaWorld and when we get going to SeaWorld, and when we get there, there were no parking space. We ended up parking the first row handicap. Jacob stole a handicap sticker from a car he broke in. It was warm, yet had a small breeze. We all jumped up out of the car, a beach bag full of things with especially the money. I told everyone not to steal anything because we had the money. I was practically talking to myself. We get to the gate to get in. We give the woman $50 for each of us, which is $500. Not too bad. Then we get to the bag check. I don't really enjoy this, but I wouldn't want to be sitting there to somebody with a gun about to blow my brains out either. The bag check is over after the woman gives me a strange look. I guess because I had so much money in there. Here we are, SeaWorld. I first see the gift shop. We'll stop there later. Tara runs toward where I know will be our first stop, the Manta. It's a roller coaster that you sit in and you lean forward and go up and up. It has one spiral and you flip. It was awesome. We then went to the stadium thingy to watch that killer whale. I forgot his name. But when we sat down, I could feel something was not right. I sat by Drew and Charity. We all could tell something was odd. Good. I wasn't the only one. The next thing I know, the bleachers start rumbling. At first, I thought it was an earthquake. No. I look up and see 5 people running down the steps. I said on us. What's happening? Everyone started running down the bleachers, but it seems that we were all in a daze. We couldn't move. The bleachers were clear of everything but us and the cops. At this point, I saw the main man, the con of cons, him. He looked familiar, but I couldn't tell who he was. Then it hit me. I whispered to Drew, That's Chris. That's Chris. What? He asked. Christopher Smith. He was a bad boy, but not like our boys. He was murder bad. Also, he was an expert in voodoo. That was why we couldn't move. Drew and Chris were sadly enemies. Chris kept telling Drew to watch his back when he was happiest. From then on, Drew tried to keep life negative, for he did believe in voodoo when no one else did. The rest of Chris's boys were holding up the cops. Chris started down for us. Eyes locked on Drew. All while I was thinking, why? Why did it have to be Drew? And why now? I could see Drew was scared, It was in his eyes. Exactly what Chris wanted. Still scared to death, Drew managed to get out a few last words. Just a few words. You again. Yeah, it's me. Missed me? Chris replied. Not really. We were doing just fine without you. Drew snapped. Drew wasn't the type to let someone do him wrong or talk him down. Fist clenched. Drew was ready to go. It was about a week since Drew's last beatdown. He was very excited and full of energy.